here we are. Okay. I'm going to try to actually start a commission from the start on stream this time, just it's kind of how it worked out. I don't have any like final art stuff to do. So I'll start this and I'll see if I get like if I get a return on one sketch they already sent in order to move on to final art. Or even like this is Deadwolf's commission, so she's a regular viewer, so she might be able to give me the go ahead during the stream. So we'll see where we go. If not, I also have a non-commission piece that I can just do final art for. So we'll see where this goes. Hello, what's up, Blagen? I'm just starting a piece for Deadwolf. I have the description here. It's still the sketch, so I wanna get it right. Oh, actually, I need a reference for a Saiyan pod. Like, I think I know what they look like, but here we go. Yeah, they look like a baseball. Alrighty. Yo, what's up? Yeah, I'm starting to work on your sketch, so you could even give me like the go ahead during the stream if that's the case. And like correct any things that I'm getting wrong in real time, if I got the idea wrong in any way. I'm going to do like the very rough idea of the sketch. So this is like the opening, and the door will be around here. Okay, I'll try not to pass it too much. Oh, no problem. Just, tell me if I'm ever, if I got something wrong about the idea. Like the angle that you wanted, something that I'm going to try to figure out. What kind of position you want her in. Because you said she's getting out of the pot to like check the damage of her knocking into the houses. So what kind of position do you want like her head to be in? Because the houses will be kind of behind her. So can she be looking kind of off to the side, like starting to turn her head, but not all the way, so we don't just get like the back of her head? She could be like... should be kind of leaning over, I guess. Get out. And then maybe this arm is still holding on to the outside, but she pulled herself out with this arm. This one can be like she already put her elbow up on the outside. Yeah, she'd be looking back at the gondola she hit. Given that she's a gondola, you can technically control its placement and thus where she looks. Yeah, but if she's already looking at it and it's like in view, it would kind of have to be behind her, you know? Because if it's to her side, for it to be in view, she'd have to be very tiny. So I was going to have her, you know, not yet like have found like the thing that she broke, like she's still kind of looking around. I don't know if that would be okay. Like she still has a surprised face, and then you can see like the gondola messed up behind her, but she still hasn't found it. Because if she's looking at the gondola, then it's just gonna be kind of at the back of her head. Okay, cool. You know, I'll make everything very sketchy still. So if you want to rework stuff, any element can be changed. Would it be bad if she was if it was the back of her head? I would. I mean, it would be okay. I just figured you'd probably want her face visible in the commission. We can do the back of her head as well. We can have like, I'll draw like a tiny version here. We could have her like already have turned around in the pod and be kinda, you know, like this, looking out, like looking behind her, like hair here, and you know, have the gondola and stuff be back here, like the house is coming out. Like if you prefer, we can do that. I just figured you wouldn't like want your character with the back towards the viewer, just because, you know, you see her less. Okay, sure, we can do this then. We can go more with this format then. I mean, it's actually less work for me. It's just I've never had someone like ask for a commission where you can see the character's face yet. But sure. I'll do that. Then I actually have not so much about her as it is telling the story. Okay. So good thing I left this history brush here, so we can just start over and have her facing backwards fully. By the way, what outfit is she wearing? Is she wearing a Saiyan suit? Let me see the size. I'm going to pull up my reference for the Saiyan pod again. I want to see the size of a person compared to the pod. Alright, so it's a little bit shorter than like an average hired adult, it seems. Actually varies a lot. They draw it very different sizes. Kind of an adult height. No, same outfit, she just doesn't have the skull. Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, since Saiyan's paws, like they draw them at very different sizes, but I'll try to draw like the more common size. Try to find the position here. Kind of stepping out of it. 1 foot will be kind of. hand can be just kind of resting here. I don't even really know if an armor is an armor, because Frieza has it too, along with his army. And if you look up Robot Pirate, it has very similar chest plating. Yeah, I think it's supposed. They call it later. They call it an armor, I think, but I think it's originally just meant to be something. It was meant to be from Frieza soldiers, but I'm not sure. Like when they have like Bardock stuff, doesn't he wear this? Oh no, he was already. Was he? No, Bardock was never under Frieza, because when Frieza took over he died. Didn't they wear the same armor? I don't really remember. Let's see what armor the other space factions would look like. Bardock was under Frieza. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was confused on whether he was under Frieza or like Frieza had just taken over and he died. Frieza took over for several years before deciding to blow up Vegeta. Alright. So yeah, it's probably supposed to be more Frieza armor. Alright then, we get back her references. You can have her hair kinda flying in the wind. By going this way. Yep. Then she has like a belt here. Just getting the basics. So yeah, this would be like her general figure. Then inside the pods, probably, let's say the light's already out, it could be pretty dark. You don't see the cushions there so much, but yeah. So the idea would be her kind of in the center of the picture here, with the debris here just piling up around it because it's kind of pushed forward on the ground. And then let's do like the Chanty Town. Then I'm going to look some gondola references. But the idea... A new doll, is the amethyst one for your girlfriend? Yep. Yeah, that's hers. And the frog is Mako's. It's a D&D character. At first I thought it might be like a frog from Chrono Trigger. So, did you want the gondola to like be destroyed or just kind of damaged a little bit? Sorry. When you said gondola, it mostly shows like the Venice gondola. I think cable car is like refers to the same thing, but just exclusively to this one. Call it teleférico in Portuguese. By the way, is this place supposed to be like reminiscent of Rio de Janeiro in some way? Because gondolas over shanty towns kind of seems characteristic of there. Doesn't matter, I don't think. The pod, I mean, she's just probably never going to use it again. The door's supposed not broken. No, I meant the of Rio, like the city in Brazil. I meant the gondola, not the pod. I figured the pod was kind of intact because it's like just meant to like ram into planets. But I want to know, like, did you like destroy the gondola? Or did you just kind of leave a dent in it? The gun's probably fine, just a big dent in it. Okay. I'm going to already set up here that there's a bit of a gap, just so we get a good view that there is some kind of mountain here for the gondola to be going up, so we can have like the wires. I'm thinking if we could like tell that it's damaged, if it's just a dent actually. I think it would be better to have it kind of janky, like it didn't fall off or anything, but have it kind of you know, pretty messed up. Maybe have a little smoke trail coming out of it just so it's clear what happened. Like have a little like ball-shaped indentation in it, so viewers can like picture it, because we didn't see the thing coming down. Even if I leave like a bit of a track of it back here, it will be kind of obscured. Like it didn't fall, and it's like Dragon Ball logic, you know, it's not a greedy world where you'd expect like the real ramifications of something crashing into the other. If you have like a comedic tone, you can be like, ah, probably nobody got hurt. Also, I've never heard of this city. I kinda got the idea from imagining a shanty town in Tomb Raider, bazaars, and asking myself how people would use transportation if mountain, like having Dragon Ball, as well as a few other things. The idea of a pod hitting the gondola was partially inspired by when Goku hit the bus. Alright, I'm going to like show you an image of like what I was talking about. Of like some stuff in Brazil, like this. I can just zoom in because at least here, when I Google Shantytown, a lot of places that seem a lot like low-income areas in Brazil show up. Here's like other images. So yeah, because in Rio, like low-income people generally who immigrated from more rural parts of the country live in these kinds of areas which are very mountainous, because like Rio is like there's a beach, there's like near the beach there's more of a plain area, and there's like buildings there, and it's really expensive to live in. Like the people who basically work for the people who live in the buildings, like they can't afford to live in like the city because it's really beautiful, and so it's really expensive in there. So there are like mountainous stuff behind it, and they built what we call favela, but tends to be translated as shanty towns. And sometimes there are gondolas to transport people up there. And it's pretty bad because it's not good. It's not a good place to build, especially because they can't afford to do like really good foundations. And anyway, it's an incline of like mud over rock. So when it rains a lot, there are mudslides, and people's houses get swallowed. So, I'll be going for it. So like this little building that receives the gondola. We can have like a non-affected one here, kind of like as comparison. So this one will look okay, and this other one will be kind of messed up. And I'll start drawing the buildings, and like you tell me, like I'll do a very rough sketch of the buildings, then you can tell me if it's what you had in mind. I imagine the buildings looking more kit bashed together. I'm not sure. Yeah, sure. Feel free to send one. I don't know what the word kit bashed means, so I'll Google it. Kit bashed. When I Google it, just shows like models for like Warhammer. So I don't know what that means. Okay, I'll start by figuring out like the basic shapes, and then we can kind of detail them in the style that you have in mind. Well, people take parts from different kits and bash them together to make their own things in Warhammer. Oh, got it. That's what they mean. Yeah, sure. Like people, like the stuff that I have in mind is a lot is made from salvaged materials. So it would probably be about what you had in mind. There's also a lot of like, it's very organic, the paths that form between buildings, because they're like added by necessity, as people just add stuff on top of stuff. They also add new floors to their houses, kind of one at a time, often with different materials. So for now, I'm doing the polygons basically, and then we can add the textures. I guess it's a bit weird to have two buildings be the exact same height. Let's make them just a bit different. So imagine crappy homes that were slapped together. Yeah, sure. Make this one more of a storefront. There's a very little space, and then a desk kind of thing, front desk, I guess. Yeah. A thing that sometimes they do in Brazil is like only have concrete in like the lower part of the wall and then just be bare brick. Then have like a zinc roof. Just have the bricks exposed. Do you remember when Goku hit the bus? I think it might be one of my favorite Dragon Ball moments. There's just something about it. Was it that he was like about to lose a match and because he was going to touch the ground and then he hit a bus and stayed on the air a little longer? Or is that something else? Oh, thanks for the subscription. That's a real life friend as well. What's up? No, he was about to win against Tenshinhan, and he used the Kamehameha to push himself just a little further up so he wouldn't fall first, but then he hit a bus and changed the momentum and caused him smacking the ground faster. Oh, okay, so I got it backwards. Even though he was better, was something completely out of his control. Okay. What's up, Andre? No RPG today. I'm kind of out of the loop. I am having to be informed indirectly by people because I got my phone number cloned somehow. The day before yesterday, I noticed in the early night that I couldn't access my mobile internet, and then I noticed that I couldn't use WhatsApp at all. WhatsApp uses your phone number, so I couldn't even use it on Wi-Fi. So I tried to call and I realized I couldn't call, and just a little bit after that, my mom actually got a call from her bank saying that a bunch of new phone numbers had tried to gain access to her account, and one of them was my phone number. My cell phone. So they blocked everything. So it sucks. Now I had to go to the store and block my phone number from doing anything, so people can't steal my accounts with it. And it could be 5 business days until they get back to me to see if I can restore it at all. And my mom had to block. For some reason, they couldn't just block the new phone numbers from trying to access her account. They just blocked every phone from accessing her bank account, including her own. So I have no WhatsApp, which I use for my other job, or phone services in general for a few days. And my mom can't use her bank account through her phone for a few days. So that sucks. It was all at the same time. Yeah, it's not fun. It really sucks. And, you know, there was never any real risk of them accessing my mom's bank account, which seems to be the only thing they tried to do with my number. So really, like, they cause you a bunch of inconvenience just for a very tiny chance of being able to steal any money. Because, like, the bank immediately thought it was weird and called her, right? Do you know how you get cloned? I never know how they're able to do that. I know they clone WhatsApp, but not the entire phone. I know how they clone WhatsApp, but not the entire phone. Yeah, I never really knew how that works. Because, you know, not only did they like copy my phone number and were able to use it, but they also somehow made me unable to use it. So I don't know what's up with that, like how they do that. Like, the only way I can think is if they like forged my ID and went to a store and said they wanted a new chip, so they transferred my phone number to the chip. But I don't know like how they did that. Like, when I went to the store, I couldn't get a new chip. I could only block this chip having my ID. And I don't know what they're going to ask for over the phone in order to like get me my number back. And she didn't even like guarantee that I'll be able to have my phone number back, which would really suck if I don't. Because I actually have like a bunch of conversations on WhatsApp that are important that I can access. Again, for work. So that really sucks, and they got nothing out of it. They just were annoying. So I think this is about the sketch. I found this seems that some app or anything else was hacked, and they were able to clone the entire phone information. Really, what app is it? Because I can't really, read articles during the stream. I'm supposed to be drawing. Oops. What the? Alright. Hey, what's up, Neon? I'm doing Dead Wolf's the sketch for their commission. There's also houses that have like a painted and like what's the word? Like you have the smooth, like, it's not really concrete, it's like chalk. Like you have the front smoothed out, and then the side will be just again bare brick. Yeah, it probably got blurry, like because the internet connection like stuttered, and then it adjusted to really low. So you guys have options again, because the other stream, like, people just didn't have options, like resolution wise. Hi, Lucifer. What's up, Lucifer? I have options this time. Cool. I don't know what they briefly took it away. You can just call me Aiko or Blank. Okay. I'll try to remember then. Aiko. So, is this about right, Dead Wolf? Could I like move on with this as the... I see the option and I click a little gear. Yeah, it should, like, it should be in auto, but then you can click there in auto and select one resolution. But you know, if it went blurry, it might be, you know, the best option, because if you put it in a higher quality, like force it to be in a higher quality, maybe it will stutter, which is generally worse than being blurry. She needs her tail, right, forgot the tail. Maybe the tail is still like partially inside, so we can tell that she's coming out of the pod. So yeah. Cool. Yeah, otherwise this is alright. Also, if possible, smaller cable cars further in the distance. I don't know how viable it is, not a big deal. No, it would be pretty easy to do. I just kind of figure it might be hard to tell what's going on, like what she's looking at, if the cable car is any smaller. Possible smaller cable cars. Oh, smaller. Okay, other smaller cable cars. I thought like you wanted these ones to be smaller and further in the distance. Sure. I could have some going to like here. Have this be also same. Here we are. Yeah, I think it will be perfect. Get across the idea there's not just that one place. Okay, cool. So yeah, this should be the sketch. Let me mirror it before we do anything else. I kind of want to change the centering a little bit. Or at least like move her a little bit to the left, which will later be the right, which you know what I mean. I'm going to put her in a different layer. I think the image will be more balanced. This way. So we, you know. Yeah, I think this looks, whoops, I think this looks better with her a little bit further to the right, but yeah, that's about it. Alrighty. So I'll merge it back down and we can save this as the sketch. This is a really big one, so I'll probably do it in like alternately with other stuff. Let's have some tea here. So yeah. But I think we can start on her and then the pod. The pod will need more details because there's like stuff inside it as well. But the way I'm thinking style-wise is to have it look like an animation frame, so have her be like outlined in black and cel shaded, while the background itself is more of like a painting, like less hard lines, more the kind of pencils and watercolors kind of stuff that you see in a lot of anime. Except the wrong side, if that's how she's going to be facing. Oh really? Goes over. Oh, that's right. Let's take poop. Gotcha. So yeah, I can like polish the sketch a little bit more, so when I do the lines it's correct right away. Give the volume to the clothes. Here we go. Redo this hand. yeah, I think it's enough now. Frankly, I'm surprised I caught that. Yeah, yeah, I guess like inverted in my head, looking at the front, and just did it wrong. But okay. Yeah, I'll move on to inks now. Get rid of this, get rid of that, and we're all set. I like the bean-shaped head. Yeah, there's more like to tell where like the cranium would be, so it has none of the, you know, outside volume. So like if you drew a head over this, you would do like, you know, all the giving of volume to it, and it will grow a lot in the process. But this is like the core of it. But we won't be seeing any of it, of course, because the hair is in front. Is it okay if I share some other Kabocha stuff on stream? Sure. Go ahead, you can link them here and I'll paste them on Photoshop. Oh, I am in a weird zoom. I'm going to... Let's see it. Here's a bunch, so I'm going to like copy them one by one. Here we have, oops, that's not the right thing. Sometimes I have to minimize and re-maximize Photoshop for it to like refresh what's copied. So this is one, the statue of a dude. Here's another one. And another one. Very nice. Now check out the artists actually. Let me look at them. Oh, it's pretty recent stuff. So yeah, let's get back to work. I'm working with this artist currently to design some other characters. Cool. That's nice work. I don't see a lot of people doing commissions in more like the painting style. I'll actually move this line a little bit. I always forget to clean my computers. What do you call it? Like the power entrance. Because always when I'm on stream that it starts making a lot of noise. Could you look at one of my drawings? Sure. Streams are a lot of like straight drawing time, so I'll take excuses to take a little break. Let's take a look at it. Oh, it's the same one that you sent over Discord. But we can talk about it. I hate the eyes. Okay, let's see. I don't know if you saw like my answer in Discord, but let's talk about it. Yikes, this is a big boy. I'm going to shrink it a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean I'll make it 1/4 the size. That will flex the eyes. Yeah, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with them. I assume it's not what you're going for. Like, what specifically is your problem with the eyes? They're too big. Yeah, well, that's definitely something to fix in the sketch stage. But yeah, like I was talking about sketch, like when I answered it on Discord, like my thing was like spend more time on the sketch, because the sketch is where you can still fix stuff. After it's done, it's more worth your time to start over and do a new drawing and, you know, get it right next time than it is to spend your time fixing older drawings. So like my thing with her is like this. Like this arm here versus this one here. Like, look how much bigger this one really is. When this one is not actually like significantly going towards the viewer, it's not that foreshortened. It's just kind of short. And then like even like here, this arm, like this arm goes off the drawing, so it kind of feels like you went a little bit whatever with it. Like even stuff that's not going to be visible, that's going to be behind something, that's going to be out, you should sketch all the way. Because like you won't notice what is wrong with it until like you draw everything. So that kind of like I realize that she has like a loose sleeve, but it just feels weird the way it's like flowing, because even this part was kind of like this, and it's doesn't have much of a reason to be. So yeah, like the next sentence, that's about right. I feel like one like this shoulder is kind of longer than this one, but there's all stuff that like you should do a sketch and then look at it to make sure. Like this should probably be more like this to match her other arm. Hands are difficult. I'm not going to like spend a bunch of time. On the way I did that, totally wasn't lazy to draw hand. Yeah. Yeah, hands are a pain. But like a few like tips on hands. One is like a good thing about hands is you always have a model just available to you. If you're drawing, you presumably have hands attached to your arms, so you can look at those. I'm pretty pleased with how quickly the dolls filled out. Yeah, we already have a bunch, and you know, there's like more than 10 people who got like gift subs and still haven't asked for a doll, so there's always a risk. Like one quick thing other than, you know, look at your own hands, is like you can't really do this with your hand where you have like a finger and like the first joint is straight but like the second one is really curved, like she has here, like where it's like this. You can't do this. Like if you try, you literally can't. It's just the same tendon that pulls your finger down, and it pulls all the joints, so they will always kind of go together. Like some people, if you make like a really big effort, you can like change just the tip of your finger a little bit, but not like this. Like this doesn't really happen. Like it's not a natural hand position. You have to, like this one is more of natural. You know, when you start bending, like the top one tends to bend a little bit before the others, and then the other one starts. But to do this much all by itself, while having the rest of the finger be like pulled back, I have the finger like start going back and then go like that. Shit just doesn't fly. You can do that. So just hold your hand kind of naturally and look at it. It's always the best way to study hands. Face wise, like for what it is, it works. I guess you just really didn't want the eyes to be this big, so you know, sketch them a bit smaller. And you can go from there. But there isn't anything super wrong with it, and the shading is generally fine. So yeah, that's about what I had to say. Wait, I can't do it anymore, what the fuck? But I could do that. I can't anymore, but I was able to pull that off. Really? Okay. I don't really know what happened to you, because you know, most people just can't. Like it's... Some people do like weird stuff with their fingers, but that's a really not common thing, like to be able to do that. Like they start a little bit before the others, like it's the first bit to start articulating. But if you want to go beyond a certain point, like the rest of the finger goes along with it. But people have like really different connections inside their hands. Like some people can't do the live long and prosper thing. Alrighty. I can do the live long and prosper thing, but very uncomfortable. For me, it's pretty difficult with my left hand, but I can do it fine with my right. So, even for the same person, I guess can vary. Ugh. I'm thinking maybe I should change the soundtrack. I have the Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure soundtrack for the GBA. And it is like upbeat and you know, a Dragon Ball thing, without being like distracting, which is what I was looking for. But I don't know, the music kinda isn't that good. Play the English Dragon Ball. I don't know if I can play anime openings. Oh, you know what I can probably play? I can play like chiptune versions. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't want to risk like. How's the volume? Is it okay? Is it a bit loud? I'm actually going to put the YouTube of this person in chat. I really like this creator. They're a Japanese YouTube channel. They've done basically every single anime opening ever. Really well in chiptune, because sometimes I don't know. So there's some people doing fairly bad chiptune versions of stuff. but theirs are consistently pretty good. So I just put on a bunch of Dragon Ball ones. There's like a playlist of Dragon Ball ones. Oh, and they always do the full version of the songs. So it's like 4 minutes instead of 1.5. Guess I'm stupid because I always figured you could just put any song in like an app or something, and it would make it chipmunk for you. There might be like apps that convert stuff to chiptune, but it would probably do it kinda badly. Because it's not like an objective thing, just translating it to a different sound quality, like you're using a limited instrument so you have to kinda make a version of that song that makes sense in it. Like they're doing Famicom versions most of the time. The Famicom can only play one sound at a time. A more elaborate NES and Famicom music, like the Mega Man soundtracks, like when they have the beat, like doing kind of a beat sound here, and like the melody is making a sound, like overlaying, they can't have like these two tracks. They have to like tweak the melody to like add the beat on top of the sound, like make it have a sound here that sounds like the melody plus a beat, and you know, but still just do the whole thing in one track with one limited set of possible sounds, and just have it sound like a melody over a beat. So, you know, choosing from a fairly limited ability to make singular sounds. So it's a whole kind of art form. I really like this one, the second DBZ. They seem to be in a kind of random order. Oh my god, the robot from the crash ship. What? Sorry? Oh, is that a robot for the... yeah, for Rocket Ship, yeah. The mascot of the stream are the work bots from Metroid that you find in Rocket Ship. Well, you can feel free to explain or not the joke. No, like jokes are explained. Yes, everybody loves explains jokes. Whoomp, whoomp, whoomp. But yeah, it was actually Orlex, who's another art streamer and who's also a frequent viewer, that had the idea to make them, because I do a lot of Metroid art, so It made sense. So the emotes are all work bots. There's even a work bot game that you can redeem. I don't remember how many channel points, let me check. 3000 channel points is the most expensive channel point thing. He's having me play one life of worker bot time. Oh no, it happened.
Time to play the game.
It is time to play the game.
Time to play the game.
Let me work about time. Here we go. Worst thing is having to like untuck my keyboard. Oh, actually, I should still have music playing because I have no music in the actual NES. Let's keep the music. Gamer time. Oh yeah, I need to enter gamer mode. Oh, there's the wrong one. There's another reward. I just spoiled another reward, sorry. But that one is 4 bits. Oh, and I died instantly, but I'm being... like, I wasn't in full control yet. I'm going to play another life. I'm still trying to get my keyboard in order. Because I push off my keyboard to the side when I'm drawing. So it's a pain. Like I'm kind of scooched off to the side now. But I'm doing pretty bad. Oh no. I'm definitely losing that salt. No. Dead. Oh, come on. Yeah, alright. Let me get that salt. Okay, I'll be risky again. Yeah, this time it was worth it. Come on. And look at the worker bot go. Yeah, gotta do well. I'm on stream. I don't even remember if Burger Time has music, but I have the sound off. The worst thing about this game is they kind of respawn kind of out of nowhere sometimes and get you right away, so you gotta be careful. I wanted them both to go down, but oh well. Like they can just come out of the edge of the screen and get you. Come on. Oh crap. Where's the... oh, there it is. I'm stupid. I left stuff behind. Doesn't it have the same music as Mappy, or did I that's possible? Mappy probably would also be a really easy game to just redraw all the graphics for. But So let's see what we can do here. There and there. Oh, I didn't get it. I'm not sure what the difference is between the enemies. Oh, I just had to use so much salt. I'm out of salt now. I get the impression that like the sausages, which are the coils in this one, are the more predictable ones. Like they always follow the same pattern, and the eggs, which are the light bulbs, seem to not always. Like the coils will always take, that they will always turn if they can turn. I feel like the eggs sometimes just don't turn, and I don't know what's up with the pickles that are like the chips in this one. Yeah, we got some salt again. Salt is basically as valuable as a life in a normal game, but here, you know, a lot more because we don't get multiple lives. Can I get that? Yeah. This game is also extremely laggy. Oh crap, that's how it didn't work. Went like past it. Oh well. That's fine. But if I knew how, I'd have like a bottom that just opens the NAS already with worker bot time set up. I feel like it's a bit loud now, right? Oops. Alrighty. Still haven't beaten, but I mean it's just 2 times now, but both times I didn't finish the game. There's still another level. I mean last time I died in the last level, but yeah. There's another level after this one before it circles back. Not that there is like any kind of announcement that you won, it just immediately loops. Not like Donkey Kong where there's an animation of you winning and then it restarts. It just goes to another level, but it's the first level, except faster. I guess to make you play the game 2 more times from the current points. Although, yeah, maybe I should like set a limit for how people can use that. For now, let's use the honor system, but I should make it like each person can only do that once per stream. Otherwise, it's just too many video games. I won't get any work done. Oh no! Oh crap!
Time to play the game!
Oh boy! Alright, alright. Just one more time, but don't do it 3 times in a row, okay? Huh? What happened? Here we go. I just had everything set up. Alrighty. I wanna see you beat it, but it takes longer if I beat it. Alright, but we'll say like if I beat it, it also ends. Like we won't do multiple cycles. Alrighty. What happened? Like I think one of those songs I'm just pausing because I guess that one song was kinda loud. So now I'm putting the volume back. Okay. See the dude just respawns on top of you and they're like intangible for a little bit, but they can just put you in an unwinnable situation sometimes. And it's so weird to play with a drawing glove on. Like one of my fingers is slippery. I can afford 5 of those, yeah. So yeah, I gotta limit it. Have it be like once per I don't know, once per half an hour maybe? They're already not spamming it. I wasn't confident I could do it. Let me just... Yep. Come on, bam, that's right. And win. Even take some tea. You might just have to play Burger Time for 10 hours, yeah. Maybe for like a charity thing like Desert Bus. See, these dudes just come out of nowhere and foil all your plans. This one's okay, he's gonna die. Bam! It's so easy to get caught in corners, like if you're perfectly aligned, you won't turn, you just get stuck, and like that 1 second of hesitation can sometimes just screw you over completely. Oh no. Come on. Yeah. See, like the one time it could have turned but didn't. Like I feel like the light bulbs sometimes will go straight for you. I don't know if it's like a perfect pattern, like every time it's closed it will go straight for you, or what. Like I didn't learn until I was an adult that every... Oh, I miscalculated, I'm a dum-dum. Oh well. That every ghost in Pac-Man has its own AI. Like they have different attitudes on where they'll turn. Like I think the red one's the most aggressive, the yellow one will always like turn away from you at the last moment or something like that. Alright. Yeah, the Pac-Man ghosts were fun to learn about. I bet none of the Pac-Man clones copied that. Yeah, I think probably not. I don't know, because Burger Time is kind of, I wouldn't call it a Pac-Man clone, but it's like in the Pac-Man genre that I don't think has like a proper name, but you know, like these that used to be common in this time of like maze based thing where you're trying to avoid a bunch of enemies in clear room, like this, and like Wrecking Crew. They're called Souls likes. Yeah. Yeah, I never heard like a name for those. I guess it was before we were naming genres all the time. I guess this isn't quite right. The belt thing's supposed to be a little bit taller, right? Because it's a bunch. Like it makes a bunch of loops around her. But there's still no genre name that I will have ever hate as much as Metroidvania. I just can't get over the fact that they're called that. I think we talked about it as possible. Very possible that I've already found some kind of into talking about how much I hate the term. It's so stupid. Wow, they're going nuts on the keyboard now. What is solid state scouter? But the image is Bardock, I don't really know where it's from. It really bothers me because Metroid was doing for so long before Castlevania, and suddenly they get half credit when a bunch of Castlevania games are just side-scrollers, yeah. Yeah, Castlevania just kinda took that after a while and were like the biggest profile one doing it. But like I actually like and played most of those Castlevanias, like they're fun enough. But they also kind of added nothing to the formula. And I wouldn't be in favor of calling them like Metroid-likes or anything like that. Because I don't think like a game gets to take credit for something forever. It's always more complicated than that. You can always dig into it and find other games that like took steps in that direction, you know. Like no game comes out of nowhere and just invents a new thing, so I usually don't like singling it out. Like the first game that really made it consolidated the style gets dibs on it. I generally prefer like the strict descriptive titles. They just, say what the thing is. Like if you call them exploration platformers or something. It's kinda hard to volume balance a chiptune because the sounds are so clear and so sharp that it goes very quickly from barely audible to kind of obstructive. So tell me if if the sound is either too loud or too low. Little low. All right. To the open world. Yeah, it could also be that. It's nice to have a world. A word for a time game structure, but the word could be better. Naming a genre after the game is weird. Yeah. This is the Kai team? No, this is the GT team. I never watched Kai. Oh, just before, possibly. It just says solid state scouter. Dragon Ball Z 8-bit. So I don't know. And the picture was Bardock. So I thought it might be from the Bardock thing, but no idea. Like the movie. I always think about the Portuguese songs listening to these because Dragon Ball, all the songs were dubbed in Brazil. Don't know about where you guys live. Next one's more GT. Yeah, there's another one that says Dragon Ball Kai, so I think that one was in Kai. They only stopped doing that around 2008. There was no Dragon Ball in 2008, was there? What Dragon Ball was on in 2008? That was considerably after the GT, no? And way before Super. Oh, but I know like people in the US got Dragon Ball way after we did in South America, so I don't know when you got Dragon Ball. Oh, music in general. Really? Because it kind of depends. Like, we're running Kenshin. Always had the songs in Japanese. I feel like the stuff that was more for kids. Even movies like Shrek would dub the music in other countries. Really, I don't remember Shrek. Was the music that central to it? Because like musicals, of course, dub music. But Shrek, I remember Shrek had a bunch of like ridiculous songs to be in Shrek. Like it starts with All Star, and then it has Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah and stuff like that. Like it's a pretty absurd soundtrack. Not really, it was just stuff my German teacher was showing me. Really? Huh. I'm actually not... I often forget stuff, but did you tell me where you're from? Watch Shrek, and then something more recent, and the music wasn't dubbed anymore because kind of became widely agreed that music shouldn't be dubbed anymore. I'm from the USA. Yeah, I mean, different countries are going to decide that kind of stuff at different times. Like Disney movies used to have really great translation work in Brazil for the songs. Like they would properly rewrite the songs to have like the same general message and the things that they were saying, but you know they'd reword stuff to actually work in terms of rhyming and sounding natural and having like high like when on a point there's emphasized, you're actually saying something important, you know. Translating music is a whole discipline that's very complicated. But more recent stuff is really lazy and literalistic and just uses like forced sentence structure to like literally translate the English sentence rather than rewrite it in Portuguese, which is too bad. How good are you, shit? Oh, I didn't retain like any of it. I tried to, but now it's gone. I took a single course in German in high school, don't remember most of it. Yeah, I never even tried German. Seems very complicated. But I really should go back to practicing French, because I'm losing it. I had Duolingo just to, you know, stay using it. Yeah, people really complain a lot about it, so just didn't go for it. Also, I don't know, I don't feel like I'd have that much use for it. Like most of the people who I know, I think I mentioned this the other day, but mostly people who study philosophy seem to learn German. Otherwise, I don't know, I think anyone. I feel like personally it would be impossible for me to become fluent in another language. It would be really awesome, but it's just too difficult. I don't think my brain is suited for it. I don't know about that. I'm given to understand that in the United States you guys really don't have like other language studies for most of school. Like it's not required and it's not from very early on, right? So maybe you're not used to it, but I don't know, you just have to like be exposed to it a bunch, because like I had English and Spanish since I was in kindergarten, like alternately, one or the other. So it becomes a lot more, I don't know, you learn to learn languages from like a young age. Like super basic stuff, you know, but even very little kids, they're already like, yeah, they're already like introducing the idea of like learning other languages and teaching you like dog, cat, boy, girl. The book is on the table. It's like the generic when people talk like joking about basic English in Portuguese, like the meme is basically to say the book is on the table, because like very simple sentences like that in present tense and stuff, and just basic vocabulary, but you're like always exposed to the idea of other languages. We were forced to learn Spanish early on, but like my teacher was an asshole and he taught us in Spanish. Yeah, they do that. Like when I did a little bit of like English by itself, like the whole class was in English. You were supposed to ask questions in English, but as you know, that's beyond like the very basic stuff. You know, it assumes you already have a basis for English, and you know, beyond a certain level, then yeah, you're supposed to only speak English inside the classroom. The thing I'm drawing of two characters and one of them is just slightly too small. Yeah, if it's that's traditional art, then you're just screwed and have to draw everything all over again. If it's digital art, it takes literally 3 seconds to fix. Oh, okay. I feel like that's something you should do on like the second year. Yeah. I agree. Shouldn't be right away. Although I know that like in Japan there was a web comic that's called, I think it's called Let's Speak English, where it's like the real life of the author, and she went to Japan on a program they have, not speaking Japanese, to be an English teacher to like little kids. So and I don't really know how that's supposed to work. Like she was learning basic Japanese at the same time as she was teaching basic English to children. It's very weird. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. Yeah. And like the people who teach English to little kids here in Brazil, like when you're, I don't know, up to like 7-8 years old, are usually like the same teacher, or just not that qualified in it. So you know, they're teaching very basic English, they know the amount that they're teaching, but sometimes they weren't very good in pronunciation. I mentioned the other day that the Earl sound, where you kinda turn your tongue kinda folded over itself. That's the weirdest sound in English for a Portuguese speaker. That doesn't have like any very close parallels. So for people who don't speak English, that's like the one they struggle most with. And it just happens that the word girl is like very basic, you know, it's one of the first words that people are going to want to teach, you know, boy, girl, cat, dog. But teachers wouldn't really know how to say it, and they would pronounce it wrong. So there's just a lot of people who say gal. There's like the approximation for someone who speaks Portuguese is just to say gal. It doesn't really sound like it. So yeah, it's kind of its own thing. There's also like the band Pearl Jam. People on the radio or on MTV or stuff would always have a hard time saying it. They'd say a bunch of different stuff. They'd say like Pearl Jam, Pearl Jam, Poor Jam. They just couldn't quite say the word. It's actually. That actually almost happened to me, not going to Japan, but just teaching English when not knowing students' language. Yeah, it seems really weird. In German, most people struggle with the. It's either F or S. Like it's either can you get me the thing, or can you get me the thing? Oh, can you get me the thing, or can you get me the thing? Yeah, but the is always yeah. That's. I know that from like American movies where the Nazis are always saying the thing is a da. I don't know why they're also kind of screechy, but they always say za. It's also odd how different people with a German accent speaking English seem to sound kind of harsh. I don't know if harsh is quite the word, but it's kind of stilted in a way that seems kind of unfriendly, I guess. While people with German accents in Portuguese sound very friendly. I don't know what it is, but it just sounds very inoffensive. What's up, Orlek? It's kind of the same vibe that people with Indian accents have in English. Like it just sounds really friendly and fun. I don't know. Germans yelling is just funny to America, probably because World War II era Looney Tunes in Disney. Yeah, why does everyone German sounds so aggressive? I mean, there's aggressive about crowding. Yeah, like a bunch of K sounds, I guess. That's very harsh. But for some reason, like the English accent can sound a bit like that, but German people, like German immigrants here, just have a very friendly sounding accent. Kind of endearing the way they can pronounce stuff. Also, they keep getting the genders wrong for nouns, because German also has gendered nouns, but they're very different, so they keep kind of guessing wrong. Like in Spanish, some stuff changes, but most of the genders are the same, right? Like there's outliers, like water is feminine in Portuguese and masculine in Spanish, but usually it's the same. El agua, yeah. I can't really remember others. It just looks weird. I kinda just don't like this. I'll just do it over. In German, basically everything has a gender, yeah. Here in Portuguese also, like every noun has to have one. Gender this gun. I don't know what that means, but okay. Let me think about gun genders. Pistols. Yeah, gun or weapon. Like gun and weapon are the same word. And that's her. Pistols are her, but revolvers are him. Even though a revolver is a pistol, that kind of stuff doesn't matter. The object doesn't need to have a consistent gender, like whatever word you use to describe it will just define the gender for that sentence. Let me think. A rifle is a him. A shotgun's a her. A machine gun's a her. Cowgirls don't use revolvers. Swedish doesn't have a good word for guns. We have to say shoot weapon or pistol or whatever. We just call it a pew pew. A bingy tube. Yeah, I mean we have a word like we have the equivalent of firearm, but otherwise it's just whether a weapon is a gun or based on a blade or whatever, it's just weapon. I should sleep. Oh, alright. Yeah, it was probably late for you. Go for it. Should. Yeah, well. I'm not responsible for what you do with your life. I've been actually sleeping healthy human hours for the last couple of days. That's good. I think I had slept in a little bit late yesterday, but I tired myself out dealing with the cloned phone thing, so I managed to be sleepy at a good time still. In my sleep schedule for the past few days, yeah, I do that a lot during quarantine. You know, it's a lot easier to kind of set your own hours and then you end up sleeping late and waking up late. Also my girlfriend, like we sleep together every other day. And it used to be because she has like an office job that we'd need to be regulated during the week because she need to wake up at a good time, and because half the days I was waking up along with her, I couldn't get too off a normal person sleep schedule. But now basically, like, we just have our phone near us, so if she needs to get up to do a thing for her job, she will know. Otherwise we can still sleep in a little bit. So it doesn't help, because sometimes, like, depending on the day, we might just be able to sleep in anyway. A friend of mine just caught COVID because he didn't want the vaccine, and it's like, yep, that really sucks. Oof. Yeah, people just get exposed to a bunch of nonsense. Like, Brazil also kind of politicized the vaccine a lot, but it eventually kind of faded out. Like, no politician or anything like that, like, kept being anti-vaccine after the vaccination program had really started. But I guess in the US there's still a lot of people who are very anti-vaccine. Just about finished my sketch. I will now go. Okay, have a good one. Yeah, I'm only getting my second dose. Like, I'm like the last group of people getting, so I'm only getting my second dose in the end of October. Good night. But I think my girlfriend's getting hers next week. So is my mom. My dad already has both of his. So, not as many, like, risk people who I interact with. Like, my girlfriend's not risk, she just works in education, so she gets it a lot earlier. I really tried. I was like, I'm vaccinated and it's fine, and I'm fine. But he heard a story about someone getting vaccinated and dying, and tried to show him. And I tried to show him this clip. Let's see that.
Not a bear in sight. The Bear Patrol must be working like a charm.
That's specious reasoning, Dad.
Thank you, honey.
By your logic, I could claim that this rock keeps tigers away.
Oh, how does it work?
It doesn't work.
Uh-huh.
It's just a stupid rock.
Uh-huh.
I don't see any tigers around here, do you?
Lisa, I want to buy your rock.
Yup. Yeah, and there's a name for that, for like the fallacy where people feel like an inaction is more like it's safer than an action. So, like, it feels okay, I could not get vaccinated and get COVID, or I could get vaccinated and maybe, like, there's like completely tiny unproven anecdotal evidence that it could possibly be bad for me. So I just won't do either because I'm afraid of both. So I won't act, actually, because I'm afraid of both. But, like, not acting, like the inaction, not taking the vaccine isn't safer, like, it's objectively more dangerous. But it feels safer because they don't want to, like, do a thing when they're afraid of both. It's kind of a bug in how humans think. And it also sucks that people are like, they can't get it through their head that it's not a personal choice. Like if you say, no, it's my personal choice, I decide to take this risk. Like, but it's not, you are creating a risk for everybody, obviously. Not everybody can take the vaccine. If the virus keeps multiplying, you get more variants that could put the whole world in lockdown again. You elderly people, even when vaccinated, still have a certain risk of dying. Like people who are really of fragile health as well. So no, it's not a personal choice. Like we can literally force you, but it's not a personal choice. You're putting other people at risk. You probably got it from someone unvaccinated. Yeah, but not necessarily, but probably, yeah. Some people just really don't like being told what to do, yeah. And some people also have just this need to be constantly telling a story to themselves where they are smarter than everyone and they are the rebel and they are the, you know, the protagonist up against like the system or whatever. And they'll put other people's lives at risk in order to keep role playing. It's really obnoxious. And you see some people talking who like literally seem incapable of understanding the concept of having like a societal responsibility to do something. Like everything is about their little choice and their personality and like expressing themselves through everything. Like, oh, I am a conservative, I don't like the state telling me to do the thing, so I'm going to not get vaccinated on those grounds. Or like, your little stance is worth more than like doing your part in getting the world out of a completely devastating situation that has killed hundreds of thousands of people and destroyed the world economy. It's still more important to tell this little story about yourself and do something that amounts to fashion and stating what kind of person you are. I heard about something called the soldier mindset, where you don't seek the truth but defend your belief against everything. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that is very discouraging that a lot of studies have shown, is that arguing with people tends to make them just entrench their beliefs more. Like if they feel attacked by the person arguing the opposite, they'll just believe even more the thing they were saying already. And a lot of, you know, political groups and affiliations kind of use that and prompt their adherents to to see any attempt to persuade them of something else as an attack, like if to see their beliefs as their identity, and people who want you not to have your beliefs as an enemy. So at that point it becomes pretty much impossible to persuade the person against it, because they will just perceive that as an attack against their identity and against them, and just believe whatever they believed before harder, no matter how, like, it doesn't matter how much you prove that they're wrong. They're just going to believe it even harder. The scout mindset, on the other hand, means always seeking the truth. Yeah, I hadn't heard those terms for it. There was a story a while back against about flat earthers who actually went and like themselves set up a study to check if the earth was flat, because like they don't believe that people have done the studies, like studies that supposedly prove that the earth was round. They say, you know, they didn't do the study, they're just lying, right? So we'll do it ourselves, we'll get the money together and we'll do it ourselves. So they did, and the study seemed to show that the earth was indeed round. And even though they seemingly were like sincere in, you know, trying to do a study, and they actually did it, and they actually got, like, they didn't read the results, they got results that they didn't want, even then they still didn't change their minds, and they just figured they did something wrong, like they somehow messed up the study in a way that resulted in the result of the study being exactly what people are lying to them, which seems kind of unlikely, but at that point they're so committed to it that not even their own study is going to like persuade them of the opposite. I heard that was in the end of a documentary. Maybe, I don't really know. Again, I just saw mention of it on the internet, so you know I can't like vouch for it 100%, just a thing that I heard, and it seems plausible. Like, there's a whole religion of people which are like 7-day Adventists, I think is the one, where like they started because a guy predicted the end of the world, and then it didn't happen, and then he said, oh, I was actually wrong with my calculations, going to be a little bit later, and then it didn't happen, and then he was like, oh, actually no, it's not really coming up so soon, I was wrong again. And like his followers just went through with him, like through all of that. They predicted the end of the world twice, they like set up bunkers and all this stuff, and it just didn't happen either time, and then he just kind of gave up on predicting it, and there's still a religion to this day. Like, they never went, oh, maybe that dude didn't have like insight into God or whatever, maybe he was just a misguided dude, or a dude that was lying. They just couldn't like stop believing it at that point. So yeah, people just kind of commit after a point, and you're not going to convince them otherwise. There's also a certain point where you feel like you're in too deep to be wrong. Yeah, it's... There's also a name for that I can't really remember. But yeah, people have invested too much to admit that it was wrong. Like, they spent too much time of their lives dedicated to that belief. They, you know, professed it too strongly to too many people. They sometimes, you know, when people are being exploited, they don't want to like admit that they got swindled out of a bunch of money. Like that belief, they're guarding themselves against a belief that would be, or a conclusion that would be painful to face. So yeah, which they could do unconsciously, right? They don't realize that they're doing it, but people do that kind of stuff. I once had an hour-long argument with a guy who didn't believe in Einstein's theory of relativity. It was a lot of waste of time. He changed his mind a few days later. Yikes, that's weird. It's weird for people to like have an opinion on the theory of relativity. Because I know what you learn in school, right? But what you learn in school is conclusions based on theory that you couldn't really hope to like fully understand if you're not into physics. So like for the average person to think themselves qualified to believe or not in the theory of relativity seems kinda silly. Like our culture values opinions a lot. Like the idea of everybody having an opinion. Like you don't have to have an opinion on everything. And no, your opinion isn't just as valid as anyone else's. Like on a lot of topics. Because it is possible to know more. So like my opinion on the theory of relativity, pretty irrelevant. But actually one of the dumbest things I think I've ever heard in my life was someone saying that everyone's opinion is equally valid because of the theory of relativity. Since everything is relative, then nobody can be fully right and every opinion has equal worth. Which, yeah, that's... I don't think I need to like break down why that's idiotic. And not what the theory of relativity is. He was just like, nah, that doesn't make sense to me. If we didn't experiment, something else would happen. If we didn't experiment, something else would happen. But the nice part was when he pulled up a video that turned out to be hosted by a Flat Earth Society website. Yeah, that makes me angry how stupid it is. Yeah. Yeah, like relativity is pretty, you know, I feel like it's kind of a given that it can be counterintuitive because it's used to explain stuff like Newtonian physics, like match the scale in which we experience physics. But then like relativity had to be created to explain stuff in like completely different scales of like size and speed and distances and stuff. So of course it's not intuitive to us. But yeah, I'm pretty sure like a lot of experiments and technology already assume that the theory of relativity is pretty good at explaining and predicting events in certain scales. Like, of course, we don't have like a unified theory. Relativity doesn't seem to work about a lot of stuff in a quantum scale. But it has descriptive value, and like nothing, we have no theory that works in all scales, so it's still very useful. Yeah, flat earth guys are basically always kind of in that mode. It's like, I thought about it for 2 seconds and one thing about this doesn't quite click for me immediately. Let me not study any further into it and rather make like a 2-hour YouTube video about how this thing doesn't make intuitive sense for someone with no education on the field right away. And you know, it's like there's a lot of conservative anti-science stuff. Like, people don't seem to accept the idea that it's possible for something to be true and not be immediately understandable and intuitive to them. Like, if you can't explain global warming in a way that they would understand, they don't believe in it. And of course, like, if you explain a really simple baby version of it to them, then they can poke holes in the super simplified version. Because yeah, it's not as simple. Same with like evolution. People get a completely wrong idea of how evolution works. Like a super simplified kindergarten explanation of evolution. And then they're confused about something and proclaim that evolution is actually a lie, and all the people who spend their lives studying this just never notice the very basic like inconsistency that they're pointing out. You see the video where the guy compresses the NASA JPEG? There's mounted in the average bear. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I saw like the one. I saw it in the H-Bomber guy thing. That he shows a dude who uses, basically increases the contrast and sees JPEG compression around the moon, and concludes that they did a weird like copy paste thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's some high tier investigations they did. And like the moon, that shot from the moon is from 1969, right? So they didn't even have like computer programs. They would have to like literally like draw the moon onto the picture or have a painted backdrop. Like they would probably do it with like practical effects. There would be no reason for there to be a weird digital square around it. But yeah. So there's one thing that I never got about Flat Earth, but I can't get into their videos because they're too long. But I want to know how they think day and night work. Like, I'm sure they have like their explanation. Because, you know, there's the flat earth here, right? You have the little continents and all that. And like there's ice. And they do like the sun and moon kind of spinning like this, I guess, sometimes. But if that happened, like I've seen illustrations that show the sun as if it was this, there would be no sunset. right? So, and I've also seen ones where it seems like the sun is like a lamp just shining down here. And so, okay, this way you'd have a part that is daylight and a part that's night, but the sun still wouldn't set in the horizon, right? Like if the sun was a thing like this, it would still be in the sky, it would just kind of flatten gradually and then disappear. Because, you know, really old-timey people who thought the earth was flat, and, you know, in the Western world, you'd have to, in India, they've known since like the Bronze Age, they didn't know about time zones, right? So if you're Egyptian and you think the earth's flat, you think the sun sets here, like the sun's actually doing this, because they thought the Ra drove a chariot with the sun through the underworld every night. So they thought the sun was going under the flat earth. But they would think that that the sunset happened at the same time everywhere. So it makes sense, but now we know it doesn't. So I don't know what their theory for that is. Yeah, I don't know if anybody in chat knows what flat earthers think the sunset is. I would love to know, because I'm sure they have some kind of theory. They must have thought about it, but I've never heard it. And like the illustrations I've seen of flat earth like seem to like that based on them there would be no such thing as the sunset. Is this the Dragon Ball? What is this? Oh, it's a Ginyu. And there's a lot of Dragon Ball tracks. We're just barely past the halfway point of the Dragon Ball. They think the JPEG scrolling down. I don't get it. And it's so weird that, you know, most of them are like super Christian, and they seem to think that a flat earth is necessary for like the firmament from Genesis to exist, where God separates the sky from the sea and stuff, and it seems to describe a flat earth if you read it like super literally. But one, there's a shady link. Yeah, I don't know who that person is, so unless they want to like state their existence and what they're linking, I'm going to block it. Giving you a few seconds. Zglionl7792, yeah. Tell me you're not a robot, or I'm going to block this. And by this I mean you. Yep, that's a goodbye then. Boop and bye. Yep. So I'll do another layer just for the pod. I've been followed by 2 people on Twitch who turned out to be bots. That's new. Apparently one of them could steal my IP. Really? I think I have a VPN. Huh. I've heard someone on another stream saying you shouldn't even click profiles on Twitch from dubious people. Though I don't really know how they could do something just by you clicking their profile. Yeah, don't know how that works, but I'm going to go ahead and not click any profiles. I actually have to like redimension her relative to everything else. She's not close enough to the camera to be as big as I'm drawing her, but I want her to be big on screen, so I'll probably just pull her and the pod all like closer to the viewer and kind of rework the perspective a bit, but I'll do that off stream. Yeah, the kind of tweaky stuff, I prefer to do it not streaming. Let me see, was this too thin? Yeah, it's a bit thin. Here we go. What's this song? Resurrection F. Yes, kind of obnoxious. I'll skip the new stuff because I just don't know any of those songs. I don't know why Shala Hit Shala is like the second to last song in the playlist. It's definitely a work for the ink pen. Is this? It's weird. It will be largely behind her, but I want to get it right. It's not looking right. This is a really weird shape to draw. They actually make it a lot rounder. Like more of a ball that just doesn't quite close and just kind of makes tail shape. Let me rework it from that perspective. Then I will make this more. Actually do this. Oops. Such a weird shape. But I think I'll go with this. I should have another point. This is weird, it's difficult. Nah, it doesn't look right. I think I'll leave this to like, I'll just stop and get proper examples and finish it. I'll just do basic colors for the character. Okay, here we go. I was getting her reference. I'll actually just... Since the door is in front of her, I can just do the door as its own layer later. Meaning I can just do... Oops. Oops. Just so the line's close. Oh, and now I have to get some new music. I'm just going to go on automatic suggestions now, so I'll put on some song. Oh, I'll put on Saint Seiya. Which probably like Orlek will know and nobody else, because I don't think anybody outside of Latin America cares about Saint Seiya. Yep. Oh, listen to the smell of the game. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's an anime song. I can't say I know that one. It gives Strive. Oh, okay. I guess we can do that. It's a game track. Next time we're in a dead end, I can put that on. Oh, I keep forgetting her tail. Alright, I'll go right back and put it, because like I didn't draw it at first because it would obscure other parts of her body, but I'll do it now. I'll just get the hair color. Okay, oops, wrong layer. Here you go. Alright, let's get oh, and the tail is also going into the pod. I should invert it, I can't. I already went too far without inverting it. Yeah. I wanted to make it as clear as possible that she's like stepping out of it and turning, so the tail is just kind of left behind tracking that motion. Saint Seiya is kind of it's a very boring kind of shonen because it's basically just fights. But it was really important for like anime culture in South America. It was one of the first animes to be brought here in like the very early 90s. Basically because like they made a toy license thing. And I think like stuff that was more popular, like they were sitting on the license waiting to sell it for what it was worth, you know. So Saint Seiya was like the introduction of a lot of South America to anime. So it's like an important thing here, even though it's not very good. There's also weirdly like super violence. Like we got the uncensored version of Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. Like the American version has a little bit less violence, or is like completely uncensored. But Sensei is still way more violent, and it would play on shows for like little children. Like I watched it as basically a toddler. We were just used to not give a crap. Like everybody's always bleeding out and getting giant holes through their bodies and getting beaten to like the point where they can barely stand up and having their bones broken. The characters are all like between the ages of 12 and 14 and just like they get brutalized and die. I remember watching Kinnikuman very young, and it was pretty violent as well. Let me see if I know what that is. Oh, I didn't watch that. Like I know the characters. Really? I thought it was like wrestling, so they wouldn't be like killing each other or anything. Even a series was very violent, really? Didn't know about that. Now a Kenshin song. I'm just leaving it in autoplay at this point. But I guess, you know, you put on 90s stuff and just plays 90s stuff. Even though Sensei is from the 80s, but like it aired over here in the 90s. I think that's not quite the color. Oops. Alrighty. Gotta zoom in just to get this little finger here. Alright. So yeah, we're almost done. Maybe I should also start the shading. Guess there's no harm in doing a bit of it. but later I need to eat. It's pretty tricky to keep the colors distinct for her because there is so many shades of brown. But I think I'm doing okay. She's a brown. Actually, I think the references, the belts and gloves are pretty much the same color as the tights. I just keep wanting to make them different. Because not really the same material. Oops, I selected something that I shouldn't. I'll just paint around it. I'll do the actual, bandage texture later. It's just easier to color and shade without it around. Okay. It's also easier to select each part, because even if they are similar, I'll probably shade them different. I don't know if I mentioned this, but Kenshin was my favorite anime as a kid. I think it's basically because like it was a shonen without filler. And with like until the show's like equivalent of Frieza, until like the boss of like the second arc, which is way longer than the first. There's never a fight that takes more than one episode. Like the fights are usually only a few moves until someone like gets the other, which makes sense since it's like they're fighting with weapons in a not completely, it's like super powered world. It's like they do absurd stuff, but it's like there's no magic. If you get hit with a sword, you're going to die. And if you get hit with Kenshin's sword, which doesn't really have a blade, where a blade would be relevant, people still usually go down with 1 or 2 hits because it's basically just hitting them with a piece of steel. And like you're not going to survive that very long. They always treat it like it's a magical thing, like, oh, his sword has the blade on the opposite side, so he's not really hitting people with the blade. So he can't kill people. His sword is just non-lethal, and it doesn't matter what he does with it. So he will like jump from 3 meters up in the air and fall down with his full body, like swinging a sword with both hands and hit a guy in the forehead, and that would just knock him out. Like he's still hitting a guy with like a large and narrow piece of steel. That will still kill somebody. I know swords are pretty light, like it's not the heaviest thing in the world, but you're still going to like crack their skull and possibly give them like brain bleeding. But it just counts as non-lethal damage, so I guess they can't die. So where is the lighting is coming from the top basically because of the sky, and I'm thinking slightly from behind, like the sun is setting behind those mounts. Actually, I think I'll just make it from the top. And I'll make it just more of an evening kind of lighting. So the light will be, I think, kinda yellowish. What is this? Okay, I don't know what is this. Let me get the song. Smell of the game. Let's do it. I haven't played Guilty Gear Strive. Basically, you know, I don't buy new games, so yeah. Oh, it has lyrics. But I like the designs. Like Guilty Gear always like had really good designs, but I like the redesigns of the characters. I'll mess with the colors in both versions. I'm doing kind of a generic one for now because I haven't really decided on the lighting. But as long as, you know, I've decided which direction it's coming from, I can just edit the colors. I don't really like them. So and Baiken are good designs. Really, generally the ones I saw I liked. I wonder if there's like an image where I can go Guilty Gear Strive Red Designs, where they like compare the characters. I'm seeing one isolated one here. I really like the doctor with the paper bag on his head. Oh yeah, I'm seeing his new design here. Yeah, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more original than the previous one. Like the previous one would be like the first thing you'd think of, and I like the new scrubs with the kind of loose collar, where you can see like his skeletal body under it, and that's really good. Yeah, I feel like I generally prefer. I haven't found like one image for like every character, but I'm seeing a bunch of them. Soul is like the most minor redesign. Basically, his vest now has leaves and is open. Yeah, I mostly prefer the Strive designs. I'm looking at a bunch of them. I wish I had like one big one to like, so I could put it here, but yeah. Just looked at a bunch of them, and yeah, I prefer the newer ones. I kinda get like the main blue guy. She went Summer Showdown, really? Didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she fits the art style. But the thing, I forget the name of like one of the main characters, the blue and white guy, who's like the secondary protagonist. His new design is kinda generic. Like he looks more like a normal guy, and I don't know, I feel like that one they could have went a different way. But I like both the old and the new designs. Gucci Gear has really great character design. Alrighto. Why should I just go to YouTube's front page and see if they recommend anything? I just put on Pokemon music. There's an image I can find where Asterius from Courage the Cowardly Dog is dressed as Soph and he's saying stupid dog. I'm fucking blazing. It's very good. I'm kinda curious about rewatching some episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog. It was so interesting. I kind of want to watch it as an adult and see what I think of it. It's very quiet now, yeah. I have to readjust every time I change playlists. Alright, just went up now. Like that show felt very eerie in an interesting way as a kid. And I'm kind of curious about how it would come across as an adult. Like they have very interesting ways to be scary, like they weren't scary in obvious ways. Felt like it was like written by someone who really remembered what kind of stuff scares kids. Alright, I'm actually going to have to call it a day. So let's see if I have somebody to read. I clicked the wrong thing, oh no. Press Twitch, yes Twitch. Great work so far, thanks. Yeah, I'll probably like work on it in parallel with other stuff so I can, you know, have stuff sink in a little bit. Oh no, I don't have. May I have the whip? I guess. But remember that there's a really major change in that like she's way too big right now, and I'm going to have to figure out to what extent I'm going to pull her towards to the viewer or pull the background away. So that's really unfinished right now. But sure, I can send you. I'll send it to you over Twitter once we're done. And let's see if I can really quick find somebody, because I really need to like go eat. Do you guys have any artists to raid? Because I got nothing. I just follow you. Oh no. Thanks, but yeah, I'm really not finding much of anything here. Alright, I don't know what this is, but seems like might be Adventure Zone or something. Oh no, there's like a huge commercial. A good one, you too. Sorry for the delay in yeah, I thought because the characters don't really have like super defined designs, but I thought like it could be Taco, the looking from far away, based on how people usually draw him. Yeah, I don't know, we're just going to read this person. Slash raid, bam. Cannot raid this channel. Oh no, I cannot raid them. I don't know why. I guess you can, just not allow raids. Oh well. Anyway, seems nice, I'm going to follow it. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna drop you guys. I'll just try once again, maybe there's a thing like only followers can read. Yeah, I cannot read it. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to drop you guys, I'm really running out of time here. So yeah, I just going to like paste the name, it was this one that I was going to read. But yeah, just in case you're curious. But see you guys next time. Thank you so much for showing up. Sorry I couldn't find a raid, but I gotta eat and I gotta go. So yeah, thanks again, see you soon, bye.